The Temporary Economic Refinance Facility were concessionary loans that were given out during COVID, and the top industries and industrialists were eligible to receive these loans. These loans, the allocation was decided by the private banks, and they could charge up to 5% interest on the loan being given out. However, recently there's been a lot of debate in the media as to what was the actual impact when the government was in mind, when the government was planning this facility, and what has been the actualized impact. So the first concern that people have with TERF is regarding its allocation. How was TERF allocated to the industries that received? Because a large majority of these loans went to the textiles sector. So, was the government giving out loans according to a criteria in which industries that were more deserving could also get a loan, or was it only the industries that were the regular beneficiaries that were getting these loans? So, the first concern is regarding the allocation. The second concern is regarding the impact. So there was a lot of media publicity around this, leading to increased industrialization, increased exports, increased employment. So what was the actualized impact? So TERF was being given out for the purchase of machinery, and it could not be used for lands and buildings. Now, purchasing machinery or importing machinery, that first of all, that's any change that you're looking through via this mechanism is not going to happen overnight. It's going to add to your current account deficit. And that is exactly what happened. A lot of these industries then tried importing machinery at the same time. A lot of those imports are still in process. And so the actualized impact that we were looking at in terms of exports, employment generation, and increased production has not yet been achieved. So then that leads us to the question that what was the government thinking in terms of the intended impact? What was the government thinking in terms of the time frame? Was it looking at a longer 7 to 10 year time frame? And what if that was the time frame, then were there midterm reviews and final evaluation and reviews planned so that the government can go back and revisit the design of this refinancing facility so that that can feed into the design of any such refinancing facilities in the future? And lastly, the constraint that the government was really relieving while giving out this loan was the financial constraint. However, if you want to increase exports and you want to increase employment, there's several other constraints in the system. And that's exactly what happened. Those constraints came into play and you were unable to achieve the intended impact. So whenever a government is looking at introducing a refinance facility again, what are the complementary packages or the measures that should come along with it? So there's been a lot of discussion around TERF. It was a well-intentioned project, but in designing future refinancing facilities, we need to be very clear about the impact, the time frame, the allocation criteria, and so that we can have a more effective concessionary loan package being given out